Okay, week 2, Project PB. Let's do this. Hi there, John, Brampton Valley Runner here, and welcome to week 2 of Project PB. Now, if you don't know what Project PB is, I'll link to the video for last week in the description below. But basically what it is I'm trying to recreate my training I did last September, where at the end of the month I got a PB at the Windsor Half Marathon in September 2018. So I'm hoping if I do the same training this month, I'll see if I can get the same result, and if not, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes anyway. Okay, so today I'm doing my first one of the week, and it's down Pittsford Reservoir in Northamptonshire, and I'll be doing the same amount of time as I did last September when I did this run, the corresponding week. It'll be 1 hour 15, it's going to be, just going to check my notes, yeah, 1 hour 15, I covered a distance of 5 miles, well, just up below 6, 5.93 miles. It was average pace of 12:39, so I do MAF running, so it's when walking because you have to stay below specific heart rate, so 140 for me. My heart rate average was 135 last time, and it was a maximum of 144, and it was 114 was a low of my heart rate. So yeah, those are the stats from last time, so let's go and see how I get on this time and see how they compare. Okay, so just walking about where about to start to do when I did this one last September, and while I'm walking there I took my weight this morning and I was £201, and actually it compares pretty much the same to what it was this time last year. I'll put that on screen so you can have a look. So yeah, those stats are about the same really. Okay, so I think it's about where I started it last time. Okay, so let's go. It's a lovely route to this. It's around, as I say, Pittsford Reservoir. You've got obviously the reservoir running around, and it's got quite a few nice wooded areas as well that you can check out as you run. There's also another country park you can detour into if you want to, called Pittsford Country Park. But yeah, I'm not going in there today. I'm just doing like the route around Pittsford Reservoir, following the same route I did this time last year. Okay, so I'm about 2.5 miles into this run around Pittsford at the moment, and my heart rate spiked to 149 a couple of times, so I'm not sure if the monitor's playing up. It could also be because sometimes heat can affect your heart rate, and it's quite warm when the wind drops. And also, to be honest, it could be because I'm being messed about with the camera, not paying enough attention to my heart rate. So anyway, I'll try to keep more of an eye on it for the rest of the run. Okay, so I'm nearly 4 miles into the run now, and they're keeping a much closer eye on the heart rate, not any more crazy spikes like before. I just checked my average pace a minute ago, and I was looking about at 12:40, which means that's slower than what it was last time. So yeah, that's a bit of hyperlapse for you for the last couple of miles, give you a quick look at the route here. Okay, that's the 1 hour 15 mark, just gone off my watch. Okay, so I've covered 5.78 miles on that run, and I've got all the stats at the moment, but that, from memory, I think that's 0.15 of a mile slower than last time I did it. So I'm not too disappointed about that, but what I'm disappointed about is the heart rate monitor spikes. It may have just been a one-off today, but I carried on doing it towards the end. And even when I was keeping an eye on the heart rate quite closely, it'd be like at 132, and then there was something spike up to like 145. And obviously by that point it's going to go up a few more to that anyway. So hopefully it's just one off. If not, I'll have to reassess it on the next run. Okay, so look at the data from both runs here. It does confirm that this show was 0.15 of a mile slower than last time, covering 5.78 miles as opposed to 5.93 last time. and that's obviously reflected in the average pace of 30-minute miles this year as opposed to 12.39 miles last time. However, I'm pleased that this time my average heart rate over the run is the same as it was last year, 135. Now, despite the heart rate spikes I was having, that indicates to me that I was keeping quite good control over my heart rate, I think, on that run, and that it was just heart rate monitor playing up. Moving on to look at the mile splits, you can see as the run progresses, the pace decreases, and that's to be expected with the MAF method as your heart gets more tired. Apart from when there are hills involved, that can obviously affect the pace and how the run progresses. Right, so now it's Thursday and I'm going to do my second run of the week, and I'm back down Brampton for this one. It'll be the same route as did this time last year. Last time I covered 5.99 miles in 1 hour 15. My average heart rate was 135 and my average pace was 12:31. Okay, so let's go out and see how I get on today. Right, here we go. Okay, so here we are at the Pittsford and Brampton station. This is the only bit of Brampton Valley Way that actually still runs. It runs on a Sunday afternoon, and you can go for a little ride on the train if you want to then. It's quite windy today and my camera doesn't like the wind at the best of the times, so I'll keep talking to a minimal. Heart rate monitor doing okay at the moment, so fingers crossed it will continue that way for the rest of the run. Okay, this is the turnaround point now. This is where Brampton Valley Way starts from Northampton, or ends if you're going from October way, I suppose, whichever way you look at it. Okay, that's the 1 hour 15 mark, just got to there. Okay, so I was pretty happy with this run compared to last year. It was slightly slower at 5.92 miles as opposed to 5.99 miles last year, and obviously the pace slightly slower at 12:40 as opposed to 12:31. However, the average heart rate was 135, the same as last year. Moving on to look at the mile splits, I'm pleased to be able to say that I don't have any major heart rate spikes this time, and the heart rate monitor seems to have behaved itself. Okay, so now it's Friday. I'm down at Consola Country Park, it's a reservoir in Northamptonshire. And today I'm going to be doing a 1 hour run, same as this time last year. Last time I had a pace of 13.15 minutes a mile. The average heart rate was 134 and I covered a distance of 4.54 miles in an hour. So let's go and see how it compares today. It's a lovely route around the reservoir here. It's about a 2.5 mile loop round, so I'll probably do just under 2, maybe 2, depending on how fast I do it today. And yeah, it's that was a bit of a special place for me in my heart, because this was my first ever non-stop 5k about 5 years ago. So yeah, I always enjoy coming back here. The other nice thing about the route around here is, as well as the bit around the reservoir, there's also a bit of a wooded area that you can go around, which is part of the loop as well. Okay, so that's the end of lap 1. Now we're going to start on the second lap. It's quite an undulating route around this Quincy Park. Quite lots of ups and downs. That's kind of normally reflected in pace being a bit slower generally around this course. But yeah, it's going okay at the moment. I've one heart rate spike at the start of the second lap, but apart from that, fingers crossed it's going alright at the moment. Okay, that's the 1 hour mark reached. Okay, so I had a quick look at the data for that, and I did it in 4.58 miles, which is a tiny bit faster than last year, but pretty much the same really, to be honest. I did have another heart rate spike towards the end of the run there, so that was 2 for the run, but I'm not really too worried about that, to be honest. The heart rate monitor's behaving pretty well at the moment, after the start of the week where it was really playing up. So we'll go have a look at the stats in a minute. Okay, so look at the stats of this run. You can see that this year I was slightly faster than last year, covering a distance of 4.58 miles compared to 4.54 in the hour. The average pace obviously a little bit faster because of that, at 13.08 compared to 13.15 last year. And the heart rate this year was 1 beat higher on average at 135 compared to 134. Moving on to look at the mile splits, you can see that the pace on both these runs is a bit slower, and that's due to the undulating course. And also on this year's run, you can see the 2 heart rate spikes that I mentioned. Okay, so those are the stats for week 2 of Project PB. What I take from them basically that, yeah, a bit of frustrating start to it with the heart rate monitor playing up, but the week's improved as I've gone on, and today's run was marginally faster than last year's, so yeah, pretty happy with that. And next week I've got 4 runs planned, and I've got a long run, a bit of hill training using the MAF method, and the all-important math test. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already, so you can check out how I get on with that on week 3 of Project PB. So if you like this video, give it a like. As I say, not subscribed, consider subscribing, and why not share with your friends. And I'm most active on Instagram at the moment, so check me out over there, and you can also find me on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll put links to all those things in the description below. That's it for now, so I'll see you next time. Okay, bye now.